Good morning, Michael here, and today's devotion, it really reminds me of kangaroo courts. A kangaroo court. We have so many of them in our society. Sometimes they run for weeks and weeks, and usually it's run by evil people trying to justify something that is incongruous. The most depictable one, of course, was the trial of Jesus. And it's really hilarious if you could look at it from that point of view, how absurd it is, but it also is burdensome when you think of how unrighteous or unsavory. It just reeks of evil and wrongdoing. Let's just look at a couple of verses here from John chapter 19, and then let's get into the exposition as written by Spurgeon. And we're just going to read from verse 1 down to verse 7 of John 19. Then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him. And the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put on him a purple robe and said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again and saith unto them, "Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him." Then came Jesus forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate saith unto them, "Behold the man!" When the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate saith unto them, "Take ye him, and crucify him, for I find no fault in him." The Jews answered him, "We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. Oh, wow. Mercy. And Spurgeon looks at verse 5 and uses the aspect, "Behold the man." And he expounds, if there be one place where our Lord Jesus most fully becomes the joy and comfort of his people, it is where he plunged deepest into the depths of woe. Come hither, gracious souls, and behold the man in the Garden of Gethsemane. Behold his heart so brimming with love that he cannot hold it, so full of sorrow that it must find a vent. Behold the bloody sweat as it distills from every pore of his body and falls upon the ground. Behold the man as they drive the nails into his hands and feet. Look up, repenting sinners, and see the sorrowful image of your suffering Lord. Mark him as a ruby drop stands on the thorn crown, and adorn with priceless gems the diadem of the King of Misery. Behold the man when all his bones are out of joint, and he is poured out like water and brought into the dust of death. God hath forsaken him, and hell compasseth him about. Behold and see Was there ever sorrow like unto his sorrow that is done unto him? All ye that pass by, draw near and look upon this spectacle of grief, unique, unparalleled, a wonder to men and angels, a prodigy unmatched. Behold the emperor of woe, who had no equal or rival in his agonies. Gaze upon him, ye mourners, for if there be not consolation in a crucified Christ, there is no joy in earth or heaven. If in the ransom price of his blood there be not hope, ye harps of heaven, there is no joy in you, and the right hand of God shall know no pleasure forevermore. We have only to sit more continually at the cross foot to be less troubled with our doubts and woes. We have but to see his sorrows, and our sorrows we shall be ashamed to mention. We have but to gaze into his wounds and heal our own. If we would live aright, it must be by the contemplation of his death. If we would rise to dignity, it must be by considering his humiliation and his sorrow. Wow. Evil men versus a righteous God. God be praised, God be praised. Victory is his forevermore. Jesus is Lord. Until next time, Michael here. God bless.